welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. So, this is a story about me, Jacob, and my wife, Denise. We've been married for a good few years, and I thought things were going pretty great between us. But man, was I wrong. Let me tell you what happened one day that totally flipped my world upside down. It was a regular Tuesday morning. Denise was usually up and out of the house by 7:30 a.m. for her job at the marketing firm downtown. But that day, she seemed a bit off, kind of distracted, you know. I didn't think much of it and left for my own job. Fast forward to around 10 a.m., I get a call from her manager. He's like, "Hey Jacob, Dennis hasn't shown up for work today and she's not answering her phone. You know where she is?" That hit me like a ton of bricks. Denise never misses work. Never. So, I start calling her, but no answer. Finally, after what felt like 100 tries, she picks up. Her voice was shaky, and she gave me this half-baked story about feeling unwell and deciding to take the day off. Said she was heading home soon. The whole thing didn't sit right with me, but what was I supposed to do? I just told her to take care and hung up. An hour or so later, this is where things get really twisted. I get a call from some guy, says he's an employee at Denise's firm, a friend of hers, and he drops this bomb on me. He tells me Denise has been cheating on me. My heart sank. I wanted to believe he was lying, but something in his voice, I don't know, it just sounded like he was telling the truth. He even gives me an address, tells me she's still there. At this point, I'm a mix of angry, hurt, confused, a total mess, honestly. But I had to know the truth. So, I get in my car, drive to the address. It's this average-looking apartment building, nothing fancy. I find the right apartment, and there she is. Denise, with some guy I've never seen before. I can't even describe what I felt at that moment. I reached the door of the apartment, heart pounding in my chest. Taking a deep breath, I knocked. The door swung open, and there she was, Denise, looking shocked to see me. Beside her stood a guy, mid-30s maybe, just as surprised. "Denise, what is this?" My voice was steady, but inside I was crumbling. She stammered, "Jacob, it's not what it looks like." The guy, trying to sound calm, chimed in, "Man, you need to leave." I ignored him, my eyes fixed on Denise. "Not what it looks like. Denise, we've been married for years. How could you do this?" Tears were welling up in her eyes. "Jacob, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you." The guy stepped forward. "Look, man, she's with me now. You should just go." That hit me hard. I looked at Denise, searching for any sign of the woman I married, the woman I loved, but all I saw was a stranger. "Is that true, Denise? You're choosing him?" My voice was barely a whisper, choked with emotion. She didn't answer, just looked down, and that was all I needed to know. I felt a mix of anger, hurt, and disbelief, but I knew there was nothing left to say. "I hope he's worth it, Denise. I really do." With those final words, I walked out of the apartment, leaving behind a part of my life that I thought would last forever. She came running out of the house behind me, but she couldn't get a word in before I backed out of the driveway and headed home. Denise shows up at the house shortly after me. The air was thick with tension. You could cut it with a knife. I was sitting in the living room, staring blankly at the wall when Denise walked in. She looked a mess, her eyes red from crying. The air was heavy, filled with a tension that spoke volumes. "Jacob, Denise started, her voice trembling. "Just save it, Denise," I cut her off, my voice laced with a mix of anger and pain. "I saw you, at his place. How long has this been going on?" She flinched, as if my words were physical blows. "Jacob, it's not like that. It just happened. I didn't plan for any of this." I let out a bitter laugh. "It just happened? You think that makes it better? That it's some kind of excuse?" "Jacob, please, I love you. It was a mistake," she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "A mistake?" I stood up, my heart racing. "You call betraying our marriage, our vows, a mistake?" "I don't know what else to say, Jacob. I'm sorry, so sorry," she sobbed. I shook my head, feeling a mix of disbelief and sorrow. "Sorry doesn't cut it, Denise. I trusted you, more than anyone in this world. And you just threw it all away." Denise reached out, trying to touch my arm, but I pulled away. "Jacob, please, can we talk about this? Can we try to fix it?" I looked into her eyes, searching for the woman I married, but all I could see was the betrayal, the lies. Fix it? How, Denise? How do you fix something that's broken beyond repair? We stood there, the distance between us more than just physical. It was clear that things could never go back to the way they were. There's nothing left to fix, Denise. It's over, I said, my voice steady but heavy with a grief I couldn't express. She collapsed into tears, but I felt numb, detached. I turned away, knowing that this was the end of a chapter in my life. The pain was deep, but in that moment, I knew I had to let go and move forward, no matter how hard it was going to be. We had a long, painful talk. It was clear that things between us were over. We decided to get a divorce. It was the hardest decision I've ever had to make. But what else could I do? I loved her, sure, but after what happened, everything changed. The next few weeks were rough. Telling our friends and family, splitting up our stuff, the whole divorce process. It was a nightmare. But I guess life goes on. You live, you learn, and you move on, right? That's my story. It's not a happy one, but it's mine. I learned a lot about trust, about love, and about letting go. I'm still picking up the pieces, but I'm getting there. Life throws curveballs at you, and sometimes they hit hard, but you've got to keep swinging. Update. Hey everyone, it's been a bit, but I thought I would give an update post for you guys. A few weeks after the confrontation, my phone rang. It was Denise. I hesitated but answered, curious about what she had to say. Jacob, hi. Her voice was soft, filled with a sadness that was palpable even through the phone. Denise, I replied, keeping my tone neutral. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Truly sorry, she began, her voice trembling slightly. I know an apology can't fix what I did, but I needed you to hear it from me. I stayed silent, not sure what to say. I've been doing a lot of thinking, she continued, and I want you to know, I'm not going to ask for any alimony. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to be happy, Jacob. That's all I've ever wanted, even though I messed it up. Her words caught me off guard. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know that I'm taking responsibility for what I did. I hurt you, and that's on me. I'm going to try to be better, to make sure I never hurt anyone like I hurt you. I could hear the sincerity in her voice, and it stirred something in me. Not forgiveness, not yet, but maybe a flicker of understanding. Denise, I appreciate you saying that. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. There was a pause, a heavy silence between us. Thank you, Jacob, and I'm sorry, again. I truly am. I know, I said softly. Take care of yourself, Denise. Goodbye, Jacob. As I hung up the phone, I felt a strange sense of closure. It didn't erase the pain or the betrayal, but it was a step towards healing, towards moving on. Maybe, just maybe, we both could find a way to be happy again, separately, in our own ways. Well, goddamn, would you look at that. I think this is the first story on this channel with a somewhat happy ending. It's definitely the first story with any responsibility in it. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.